Go.
Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, time for Laugh and Learn Lunch, and I am so excited. Trey Urban here, known as the Transformational Energy Trainer. Why? Because after healing myself from paralysis, you guys, now I teach others to heal that deep physical, emotional pain and disease, which I believe is the root of all things that holds us back from life, all of the creations of anything you experience in your body. So I am so excited to present today Miss Sheryl Mays, because guess what? I met her on my favorite social app, Clubhouse. And this powerhouse, I heard her speaking and I knew her wealth of wisdom was not just a wealth. It wasn't just a lake, y'all. It's an ocean. So I had to back channel her right away and go, yo, I would like to
That's
have
how
you
it works.
on my
That's how it
show.
works on Clubhouse. It's like, let me hurry up and get that back channel going.
That's right, before I disappear. So you guys, this is Miss Sheryl May. She is the amazing. She's an empowerment coach, and so that's what I, of course, fell into the first, because I knew that it was beyond her scope of what she was saying, but she also is an executive. Okay, so lay that on me again. I lose that first part of the title because I'm so into her empowerment coach. But you guys, she
Chief
has
Experience
another
Officer.
business. She is the chief experience officer. And let me tell you, she creates leaders. She creates amazingness. So, Miss Sheryl, please introduce yourself to this amazing audience and let them know all of the information about yourself. And then we're going to get into this amazing conversation.
Well, first, let me say I'm excited. I am excited to be here because, yes, we met on Clubhouse, and you don't often get to see people that you meet on Clubhouse. You get to hear their amazing voices, but you don't really get to see people. So I'm excited about this, and I love Laugh and Learn Lunch because we have to do that. We have to learn and we have to laugh at ourselves because some things you just like, you know what, if I don't laugh, then who knows what's going to happen. So I love the opportunity of being able to come on and share. And what I do is twofold. As a chief experience officer, I work with organizations on creating experiences for customers. It's a business strategy when you talk about customer service, and we all know the importance of providing amazing service because there's a reciprocity that comes from that. People come back, they spend more, they bring more customers. Your business is now sustainable. The other
They tell their
opportunity,
friends.
exactly, right? And that's what you want them to do. That's what you want them to do. If
They're like,
nobody's
oh my
talking
God, I
about
love
you,
Sheryl. You guys don't even know I just had this thing. That's really word of mouth. That's where it all is, that fire.
because if nobody's talking about you, then nobody knows who you are. And you're spending a lot of money on marketing when you have people that have gone through your experience and they can give firsthand information as to why this individual wants to come to your shop, your business, your salon, and receive your services. And that's what we
They're
want.
already telling you why. They're already telling you why. Why you need it.
Exactly.
They're walking testimonials.
You got it. And what better marketing than to have somebody out, as I like to call them, brand evangelists? They're spreading the good news about your business.
The angels. That was my angel thing. Ding. Because
There
the
you go.
evangelists, they don't need to be motivated to communicate. Evangelists, they are just singing the praises all the time. They're the angels.
Exactly. And that's what you want in your business. You want people that are out there talking about you in different networking settings, in different forums, at dinners, in just everyday conversation. And we're wired to do that, right? It's a part of our self-esteem. We need to be liked and appreciated. What better way to do that than to give somebody a recommendation? And then they get to experience it and they come back and go, oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate you. Now I feel good.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
And
See,
that's what
see, yeah. Okay, so I want you guys just to recognize the energy. I want you to recognize the amazing, and this is why I knew within seconds, because I usually read the pictures, because you guys all know I'm super intuitive. Master energy, yes, reader right here. So I knew that I liked her, and then she opened her mic, and I heard the power in her voice and the vibration of her energy, and I was like, Yes. Okay, come on, girl. So this is what but when I found out that she had more than just the wisdom she was sharing, because we weren't even talking about her business type when I heard her on Clubhouse. We were talking about a different topic. And this is, I was like, and so I felt like she was I don't want to say not doing her thing, but then when I found out that really in her business, what she does is she builds better leaders. And how do you do that? From the wisdom that she learned. And this was what I was feeling and hearing her communicate, was all of this freaking wisdom. And this is how she knows how to get you to these better processes. You guys, because she's took the stairs, she's fell down, she's built the
Absolutely.
blocks and they crumbled, right? And now she can help you adjust that, because when you find these things for yourself, then you are able to be the mirror of that for your employees, and then your employees want to be around you. Could you imagine being around this beautiful energy all day every day?
Some people
Oh
might
my
go,
gosh, I would be like, girl, I'm your best employee, your best employee.
but
So
you know what, Trey? That's when you love what you do. And when you love what you do, you show up, right? You show up in your all of you shows up. It's not like, okay, I left this part of me at home, right? You
yeah,
just
I
bring
used
the
to say the
part.
hats, and I used to wear like the mom hat or the whatever hat, and I didn't realize I had like de- like I had distributed myself. I wasn't walking in my totality all the
Mm-hmm.
time, and I was different, and it was exhausting. But when I'm just me with my one hat all the time,
Mm-hmm.
then and it, like you said, I'm always doing what I love, because when I that's what I do now. I focus on all that excites me, and when I lean into that, it's like the rest comes, and I attract amazing people like Sheryl. You guys see, and this is what happens because I got into my passion, and I finally said, you know what, I don't care if people believe me, don't believe me, if whatever, all the things I said before that held me back from living my best life. And now I'm like, I don't care. I live my best life, and I'm unapologetically me. And you guys know I'm a little extra, I'm a little loud, but then guess what? The more I accept and love me, the more I attract other people who are freaking love themselves. Freaking love themselves and love what they do. And guess what? They sound like Sheryl.
And that's who you want to be around, right? Who wants to be around
Yes.
people that are just sad and mopey all the time? You want, you woke up today. If nothing else happens great today, you woke up. And if that doesn't get you into a higher level of thinking, then there are some other things going on. There's some internal
Let's
work
work
that
on
needs.
that. Yes. So, you guys, we're going to get, and this is where I got into this title, because when I was researching this amazing queen, she has it on her website. Okay, and let me show this. Let me give this flasher, you guys, because why is it? Oh, I put it in the wrong comment. So yeah, it helps if I put it in the correct. So okay, you guys, now it's in the comments. I'm going to show it on the screen. See right there? That's her website. So I'm out here researching this amazing queen, and she was like, her one of the pieces on there says that she's here to help you do the impossible. And I'm like, woo, I love you already. I love you already, because so many people I know feel just exactly like she said. Those are the people who are like, everything's impossible. I don't know how. I don't know, right? And but really, nothing's impossible. And this is why I love this queen. So this is how we got this topic. And I just want to ask you, what helped you to recognize within yourself that you have this ability to really help people do the impossible? Because I know you've seen the reflection over and over.
Yeah, it's interesting because everything that we do, when you're a coach, a consultant, a trainer, everything that you do first starts with you, right? If you haven't done it yourself, if you haven't gone through the journey yourself, then you don't know those pain points that other people might experience. You don't know what it feels like to really have accomplished the thing, right? Whatever the thing is. But when you've gone through that and you've said, oh my gosh, wait a second, this feels great. And in addition to that, I didn't know if I could or not. I just attempted it. And I realized that I am much stronger than I thought I was, that I have more courage than I thought I did. I have more discernment. I have more intuition. You just fall into that I have more versus I'm not sure. And I wonder if, and I don't know if I can. Right. So you fall into the positive aspect of it. And that's where the empowerment aspect comes in of what I do. Because, and I have my t-shirt on here that you might not be able to see. It says affirm your truth. It's part of my affirmation movement. And my goal there is to reach 1 million people, 1 million people that are willing to be unapologetically bold, to move beyond their fear confidently, and walk into what might seem impossible, but it's not, because you are enough and you're worthy of your success. But you got to believe it, then you got to speak it. And now you can wear it.
Yes. And know that you believe it, because once you have somebody who's helping remind you that anything's possible, it gets so much easier. But this is crazy because my business bestie, Shantae, she's reading this book from Eric Thomas, You. And what he was saying in there that kind of smacked me in the face was, he says that none of us fail alone and none of us succeed alone. Because in the end, you are swimming in some, whether you're in the pity party of the victimhood, there is somebody there listening to you and affirming you and going, girl, you know you're right. He's blah blah. Why? Or you have people, because we're always leaning into pain or we're leaning into pleasure, and then he says, and we don't succeed alone either. And it doesn't. It's true, because it takes people to open the doors for us, the people to be someone we look up to, right? And this is where I love this queen, because I know I already looked up to her because of her amazingness. And when I said yes, because I'm the healer to the healers, right? I'm the teacher to the teachers. And when this queen, she's like, well, I teach the leaders, so that tells me she's the leader of the leaders, right? She's the queen of the process. She's the one who helps you because she's already over there. So that tells me that she's ready to help us learn how to do it all. So if I was coming to you and I was like, oh, Sheryl, I always wanted to start my own business, and I've kind of been doing this and that, but I don't know where to start. What do you tell somebody who's just on the baby steps?
First of all, you have to take a step back, because we see things, before we accomplish something, it happens twice. First, we envision it, we see it, right? Then we do it. But you got to see it first in order to know, okay, that's the place that I'm trying to get to. And so sometimes when we see something, our past enables us to have the clarity. Right? So it's kind of different between seeing something in black and white and seeing something in color. Right? You can have that vision in black and white and it hasn't been colored in because you're still in that place where you haven't told yourself yes. You haven't said yes to yourself, and you've got a lot of chatter. And my first book that you see behind me is actually called Silencing the Chatter Monsters, Move Beyond Your Fear. And it's about that entrepreneurial journey. Because when I became an entrepreneur, it's interesting when you tell people I'm getting ready to get married and they go, oh my gosh, congratulations. And you say, oh my gosh, I just bought a new car. Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations. I just bought a new puppy. Oh, that's amazing. And then you tell somebody I just became an entrepreneur and they go, ouch.
They're like, oh, why'd you do that?
Exactly. Right. It's like, why'd you leave your job? Why did you, there's all of this that starts to take place in the conversation. And then you had this amazing, heartfelt, thing that you wanted to accomplish. And now it's being absorbed. It's being absorbed.
Yes, because they're throwing their negative energy on you.
Yeah, and you're receiving it. And not only are you receiving it, you're digesting it. And now it's swimming around in your head and you're going, well, who do I think I am? I don't know if I can do
Yes.
this. And so all of these words start to come up that tells you no. And whatever way it happens, the bottom line is you're telling yourself no. But when you have the opportunity to really know that there are other people that have traveled the journey, there are other people that have during the course of the night, they're curled up in a ball on the floor in tears, in fear, going, oh my gosh, what did I do? But yet they get up the next day, right?
Yeah.
They get up, they take some more steps forward. They keep pressing forward because they know I can do this. But we don't experience fear. Right? Fear is it's common. If you're not a fearful person, then you're lying to yourself and you're lying to other people.
Human experience. We are all here, and everybody has some fear somewhere.
Yeah,
somewhere, somehow, some way, some shape or form, or else you're not a human. You might be AI.
It could be a fear of something new, right? I took this new job, but I don't know if I'm going to like the people. I don't know if they're going to like me. I don't know if I'm going to like the job, right? So you show up and you're a little fearful. Now you pull up into the parking lot and you sit in your car for about 10 minutes having that internal dialogue conversation, right? Okay, I'm good. I got this. And then you go in and you're fine. But for that moment, there's that moment when you're inside your head going, oh my gosh, what if?
Why did I do this?
Yeah, right.
What am
There's
I doing?
Fear of growth. There's the fear of going beyond your comfort zone. Right. So we all
expansion.
Fear.
I call it growing pains.
Yeah.
Because you're feeling them mentally, you're feeling them emotionally, and therefore your body's expressing it physically somehow, whether you get the weird tummy thing, like that weird, like, I can't even take it, a deep breath, or or it's right here, you're like,
yeah. And it doesn't matter how long you've done the thing, right? So for example, I speak on stages, but I tell you, Trey, every time I pull into the driveway, I go into the facility, my stomach, the butterflies are like, they're flying.
Yep, and I just know it's the energy, it's the buildup. And this is where I go, it's like we done shook up the pop can. Now the pop can's all shook up. And this new thing is getting ready to burst because you've never been, and even if you've been on that stage before, you've never had that exact same group of people. You've never had that exact same dress or those heels and girl, as the way would always be, oh, I hope I don't trip. You're right, because we all have those crazy human experience feelings in our head. Oh, I hope I remember or flow.
And it's so interesting because now what I say is initially that happens, but then the butterflies start to fly in formation. Right? And you get into I do this. This is who I am. I'm good. And then they start to simmer down and your shoulders go down. You start to breathe regularly again.
And there becomes a flow. And that's why I go. So once you open up the pop can, then it's able to go.
There you go. I love that analogy.
And then, but really, isn't that how it feels? Because either way, you guys, I've realized the fear of regret or that feeling of regret, it's almost the exact same. So whether you sit at home going, oh, maybe I should have, I don't know. Let me tell you, it's the same as going. So if you're going to be having some introduction of crazy energy, if you're going to shake up the pop can, either way, our pop cans are all going to get shook up. So why not lean into the experience, because magical things can happen. This is the thing. This is how you meet the amazing people. And more than that, what I feel from every time I speak and all the feedback is I know that I'm doing what I'm here to do, and that's help people's lives be freaking easier. Right? Because that is my purpose, to do it with joy, to realize that making money can be freaking fun. It doesn't have to be work.
Right.
Yes.
And that's one of the goals of being an entrepreneur. You became an entrepreneur so that you can manage your own time, so that you can enjoy doing what you're doing, set your own schedules. And that's when people say you have to work on the business instead of in the business, but you got to be in it in order to work on it. Right? That's the bottom line.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about it, sister.
So you have to do that, right?
And
You got to do that. And you're talking about, regret. And I always say, like, there's two thieves of life. There's the fear of the future, and there's regret of the past. So we're either walking away from something or walking towards something. There's only those two options. So I'd rather show people the benefits of going towards something.
Leaning in.
Even though you're going to stumble, even though you might have to take a detour. You might have to turn right. You might have to turn left. You might have to spin around. You might have to do a 180, but you're still moving.
You're still doing it. You have to. And you have to. The only way you're going to be able to keep creating your picture is by putting the stuff on there. To me, that's doing the things, right? So even for me, I was laughing because I was talking about how I'm a manifester. I manifest stuff like this. And so I don't know what got into my head about 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, I'm almost 55. And then I could be in an age qualified community and it's going to be quieter. I don't know what I thought. I had all these delusions of this greatness, right? And they always have like the exercise equipment and the pools and la. So sure enough, not only did I create an opening before I was even 55. So there was like some little 10% rule that could be under 55 or something. And of course I create openings because that's what I do. And and I get in and now I've been here and I said, oh, well, there's a lot of things I didn't know about age qualified communities, but now I know I'm looking for a new place and this has been a fun experience. However, there were things I didn't expect. And how would I have ever known if I didn't actually do it?
Right. If you didn't take that step, how would you know? And sometimes we have these images that we create of all the negative that could possibly happen. Oh my gosh, this is going to go wrong. This is what could happen. I could lose this. I could not do this. But what if it turns out great? What if you turn out and it's the most amazing thing you have ever experienced? What if? It's interesting. My granddaughter is 2 years old and she loves Sesame Street.
I love it.
So I was watching Sesame Street with her, and I haven't watched Sesame Street because my daughter's
classic,
way older than she watches Sesame Street. So I'm watching Sesame Street with my granddaughter, and I'm sitting there in this particular episode. Big Bird was teaching kids about critical thinking. And I thought, okay, Big Bird, what you got? And so he said something, and I've made a talk out of it, and I owe it to Big Bird. I always credit him for it. And he says, ask yourself two questions. When it comes time to ponder whether or not you should, ask yourself this: I wonder. And then go, what if? And then say, let's try. And I thought, Big Bird, you just blew my mind right here. How appropriate is that to say, I wonder what would happen if this thing goes amazingly well? I wonder what else could happen if I attempt this. Let me try it and see. And then you just do it, right? And then you just do it. And then the universe kicks in, and that the power of the higher being, whoever you deem to be the most powerful creator, they kick in and do what they normally do, right?
Anyway,
when we just keep doing what we're told to do, everything starts to align. And then you see that I can do the impossible.
Yeah, and we play the what if game all day. And being an entrepreneur, that's all we do all day, every day. Well, what if I do this? Click. What if I change my page? What if
I change the colors?
What if I change my What if I go on this other person's show? What if I go on this podcast? What if I just show up And it's so funny because, okay, all of these things are just stimulating these thoughts in my head. So my I have custody, you guys know, of my 3 grandkids. Aubriella is the youngest, and she's 10, and she's in a STEM school: science, technology, engineering, and math. So she's all excited. She goes, Nana, we just started this project, and we just picked our little groups, and of course I picked my friends, and so, and she was like, and there might be a contest at the end, and I was like, did anybody in your group want to do the contest? And she was like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, when you guys heard about it, did anybody go, oh yeah, I want to do the contest? Oh, yeah, we're doing it. And she's like, no. We all were like, well, let's build it, because they're building something that could scoop up something.
Mhm.
So she's like, no, we all decided that we're just going to build it, and then we're going to assess if it needs any readjustments, and then after that, if we want to join the contest. And I was like, that's interesting. I said, because if it was me, if I was one of those people in your group, that would have been the only thing that interested me. Who cares wants to build a scooper thing? Oh, contest? Ah, right.
I want to win. We're going to win.
Yes, I was like, who wants to win? And I realized that this is, again, how so many of us show up differently. And this comes from their level of fear, because their fear was it wasn't good enough already. They already decided that it might not be good enough, and they were already going to allow for a readjustment, which is great, because let's try.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know what goes in there too, Trey, when I hear that story, is like you're already comparing yourself to the best people in the class. And you're already saying, well, they win everything, so they're probably going to win. Right? But we do that in life, right? We compare ourselves to people that have been out there for 15, 20, 30 years and go, yeah, well, I'm not doing what they're doing. You don't know their story. You don't know the journey that they took. And I guarantee you, and as I share in my book, I tell the story of 7 entrepreneurs, and they've shared their story with me, and they're all from different industries. And so what they do is, there's a traveler, and she's this entrepreneur that wants to become an entrepreneur, but she meets these individuals at different points in her life, and they tell their story. And before she walks away from them, they leave her with an envelope. And in this envelope, as she opens it up, there are things that they did to silence the chatter, because we all experience chatter. But when you know that someone has had the ability to go through it, silence it, and still be successful in their careers. And what I love about these individuals is that you won't see them on Forbes magazine, but they get to do what they want to do when they want to do it. They have the finances, they have the calendar freedom. They can do exactly what they want at any given time. And in my mind, that's success.
And this is crazy, because success is, of course, an individual thing, as always. Our recipe of success looks very different. And this is how, like you said, my recipe was being able to be here with my kids, my grandkids, and now my great grandkids, and to love them and hug them and squeeze them. And every day I get it. That just like fills up my cup. And then that is what motivates me to go out there and bump and grind, so that I could have the time to do this and show up every Wednesday for my Laugh and Learn lunch, to bring value to the world, because this is so important. And I'm like the person, just like Sheryl, if I could be on the rooftop and be the light for everybody to come and find the way that's the easiest, smooth, comfortable, gentle, and harmonious, I'd be like, please, come on, I got the ways, we got the keys, we've done it. We know where the pitfalls are. I know where the little dips are. Yo, I know what happens if you put your hand in that cactus right there on the thing, right?
Yeah.
And so beautiful. I
It's
love
so interesting, because the one thing that I always share with people is, we all have deep down inside of us, there's a champion. There's a champion deep down inside of us, and it's been repressed, it's been silenced because of things that we've experienced.
Been damaged.
In our past. Exactly. Right. But it's like that. It's like that football player that's sitting on the bench that's saying, Coach, put me in. Come on, Coach, put me in. Let me play. This is what the champion is saying deep down inside you, but it's been so repressed that sometimes you can't hear it. You can't hear it. And so you continue to compound the doubt and the fear, and you keep pushing it down further and pushing it down further. But the day that something registers, and I always say that something that registers is when you start to reframe the way you speak to yourself. When you change the way you speak to yourself and you go from I can't to I am, right? I am in the present. I am moving forward. I am worthy.
Yes.
I am successful. When you start to speak those words, every time you speak it, the champion surfaces up another layer, and it comes up another layer. And then the next thing you know, the champion is here. And you're like, I'm walking into my impossibilities. I'm doing this afraid. And I know I might fail, but I'm still going to do it. And that's how you utilize the champion.
Yes. And the keys are is I call it playing the game, because I believe that mental body, that chatter, right? The words that we hear that aren't helping us are your ego, and our ego is teaching, protecting, or motivating. So when you hear those thoughts, oh, you better not turn there. Oh, it's just trying not to protect you. Or, oh, I don't know, you might not do that because you might fail, right? It's just trying to protect you. And then I like to give the analogy, because so I could either let my ego drive the bus, or I can be prepared, because I know I had abandonment issues. I had all these roots that caused these triggers for my mental body to want to protect me, teach me, or motivate me. So now I'm prepared already. I already know, so that when that little voice comes up, that I could say, oh, I am supported by life. I am supported by life. I have more than enough money. I have whatever, right? So whatever the things are, and start building that, because then you could be prepared for when they come, and you could throw the ego back to the back of the bus and say, okay, oh, I recognize. I just shook up my pop can. I shook up my pop can, and now my mind's freaking out. And then I'm like, no, I wanted this new experience. No, I want to go on this trip I want to go to Bora Bora. That's what I'm manifesting this year. So yes, I want to go. And do I get all the same thing? Oh, it's far, and I don't know, and it's hours. But I don't care. It's going to be great. So I want to lean into that, because it's just new information. And for me, that emotional, those emotions, I believe the emotional body is holding all those moments of impact. From when they knocked you down when you were 7, and they told you were ugly when you were 3, and you were fat when you were 4, and you're always whatever, right? And all these little pieces of you are just stored away, like you said, and they're just protecting themselves, waiting, and they're buried. They're buried under all this stuff. But I tell you, when you can find them and reconnect with them, there's a part of you that comes back with a confidence and a tenacity that most kids have. That they ain't afraid to get on those jungle gym bars and fall off and crack their head. They ain't afraid to jump off the roof thinking they're Mary Poppins with the umbrella.
Exactly. Jumping into the pool, right? There's those things. And it's so funny you say that, because I have right here on my desk, on my second desk here, there's something that brought me out of a dark period. When I was married twice. When my second marriage was a horrific marriage. I was married to a narcissist, and just had a horrible, horrible experience. And when we got divorced, I was in a dark place for, several months, because of the turmoil and the mental anguish and just the exhaustion, right? Just the exhaustion that's mental, then turns into physical. And then I went to the bed. That was my favorite place. And I always say, I got in my woe is me bed. I laid my head on my why me pillow, and I pulled up the what the hell covers. I
might be familiar with your spot, girl.
Right, there are a lot of people that's pulled up those what the hell covers and laid in that woe is me bed, right? As a safe place, right? This is my safe place. I don't care if I don't eat. I'm not coming out. I don't need daylight. Just leave me be. But then
I might not even need food. I don't know.
Right? But here's what the trigger was. I found myself thumbing through a magazine and I came across a quote, and it was by Layla Delilah, and it's taped right here on my desk. And it says, "When she remembered who she was, the game changed." And that, to me, I had to read that like 3 times. And let me tell you, I threw back the covers. I got out the bed. I went in front of the mirror and I said, "Girl, look, I dare you. I dare you to rise and shine." And then, like a kid, right? I said, "I double dare you."
Yep, I was going to say, I knew there was a double dare coming in.
I double dare you to rise and shine. And then that became the name of my corporation. That's how that became my corporation. And my symbol is the lotus flower, because the lotus flower is buried in the mud and it rises up from the mud to the sun because it is a survivor. It's a magical flower that's a survivor. And although I can't get Rise and Shine trademark because it's such a common name, I still said that means so much to me that I'll take the broad. At sometime years I might get a cease and desist letter. Who knows? But nonetheless, for me, and I'm gonna talk them out of it, because when I tell my story, they're gonna be like, "Girl, have it."
We already manifested it's yours, so everyone just back up off it. Oh, all right.
There you go. Right? They're gonna be like, "Yeah, you deserve to have this."
Yes.
When you have something like that just kind of breaks through the muck, it breaks through the darkness, it breaks through the silence, and then that's when your picture now comes in color. And you can walk into the impossibilities. You can be confident. You can be unapologetic, because you deserve to be in that place at that particular time on that particular day doing your particular thing.
That's right. And until you believe it, give yourself permission to say, "Let's see." So now I'm just going to let's see. Let's just see. Lots is possible. Lots is possible. That's what I love to lean into. Lots is possible. I love that. Let's see. I love Big Bird. Yay! Oh my God.
Amazing what you learn from children's shows these days.
I know, but it's really
Every adult should watch Sesame Street.
I know we should all watch all kinds of kids stuff, because they have deep messages in there. And for some reason, if it's coming from a cartoon, even us adults don't have our guard up, and we actually are hearing and receiving a lot of the same information. And sadly, most of us weren't raised with it. Most of us are just learning and implementing it now. I know that I'm the example of change for generations of people in my family, and they still all think I'm crazy, most of them. I have like a handful of my family, and let me tell you, I have tons and tons of cousins, aunties, sisters, brothers, all, we're Hispanic family. Just on my mom's mom and dad both have 12 brothers and sisters. Both 24 just of my mom's aunts and uncles. And they all live here in the metro area. So let me tell you, but out of there's not even a handful who are open to this information, who are open to these possibilities. And it's interesting, because as a healer, all my shamanic, all my shamans who taught me, they all said, "We're not here for our families, we're here for the world." And that's why we feel so separated from them, so that we reach out to the world, so we never stop. And I heard you saying there's some part of us that never stops wanting to engage when we first started this conversation. And this is where we all want to keep going back for more. We go back for the more, even until we learn, I guess, how to be more discerning, or realize how some of the things aren't giving us what we want, like the narcissist. Because, girl, you're telling my story. I was married twice too, and all the same stories, and the things with the husband, and I'm like, yes. And this is why we attract those, because we want to fix things.
And oh my God, and that's a whole nother
that's another show.
Exactly. That's a whole nother session. That could be like a series.
I went through the feelings of feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't want anybody to know now. I've been divorced twice. And and you know, because it does, it hits you. And then, but the part of me that was like, I'm like the 80-20. Like, and the 80% is like, hey, y'all, I'm single. Hey, I'm living my best life. Who wants to go out? Who wants to go dancing? Who wants a vacay? Who, all those people who would say no because Ben was coming. Let's go.
Right. Who wants some cereal for dinner? Right? Who wants Fruit Loops for dinner? I do.
Breakfast for dinner. Yes, all the things that, because no, narcissists don't like that. You got to keep everything the same. It's Groundhog Day. And that's what's like, I can't live Groundhog Day anymore. But this goes back to the misperceptions of what. So a lot of times we think we want something. So this is how this all started. So he manifested somebody who he said made their own money, who wouldn't want his money, and these were his things, right? And I wanted somebody who would let me talk because everyone told me I talked too much or I was too loud and little and right. But so I manifested a man who never said nothing and let me talk all the time, and he manifested an independent woman. But what he didn't realize is that because he really wanted somebody to be on the couch with him who would sit at home and just be happy being a homebody who lives Groundhog Day. He wanted a Groundhog Day lady, but didn't realize that if you want somebody who makes their own money, that they're not going to be a stay-at-home person.
Right. Yeah.
Because you don't make money staying at home. And I didn't realize that I wanted somebody who would exchange communication and exchange ideas and that not just let me talk, but help me learn and these things. So then when I started realizing what I wanted, and then guess what? You have to be willing to let what doesn't fit go to get what, and you can't be mad at yourself because you didn't know. You can't know what you don't know.
Exactly. You know, I always say we make the best decisions we can with the knowledge that we have at that time. Right? That's the best that you can do. And the other thing, you know, that I thought about during that time too was I wasn't aware of my love languages. Right? We heard of the love languages, and being able to share that with someone so that they know how to address you, what's important to you. And sometimes we don't have those types of conversations
because we don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know about you, but when they ask me, what do you need? The first person who ever asked me that in my like late 40s, I was like,
because nobody asked us that question.
What? Yeah. What? I don't know. I don't. And I just cried.
I was having a conversation with someone earlier, and I was talking to them about accountability. It's a new client of mine. And I asked the question, what do you want? And she said, she thought about it. And then I went silent, right? Because I don't want to prompt you, but tell me, what do you want? And she said, I don't know. And I said, you know why? Because you've never been asked that question. Think about it. From the time we were infants, we were always told, this is what you're going to do. If you do this and you do it right, you get a reward. Here's your reward. If you don't, then there's a consequence. And we hear that all the way through high school.
And we got a lot of no's. I didn't realize, like, now people are really realizing how detrimental always, no, don't do that. No, don't touch that. No. Yes, it messes up the kid's psyche. We are taught and trained not to ask questions that way.
Yeah. And you're rewarded for the behavior that I tell you, right? I tell you what to do. You do what I say, you're rewarded. You don't do what I say, then there's a consequence to pay. So when I now, as an adult, I ask you, what do you want? You have to stop and think, because no one's ever really asked you that question. And you don't even know how to phrase it. And what happens? The first thing a person says is, well, here's what I don't want. No, that's not what I asked you, right? It's so quick to go to the negative. Well, I know I don't want this and I don't want this. No, that's not what I asked you.
Girl, I know. We're all trained that way though. And I think this is from the generations of judging, of gossiping, all of the things, because all of those things entail conversations of what people don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, that's all I ever heard my moms and aunts and everybody always just talking about, oh girl. I'm talking about all the things that all these people did that they didn't like.
Or what you shouldn't do.
Uh-huh.
This is what you shouldn't do. And that's why when it comes time to be an entrepreneur, that crossing over that threshold is so troublesome. Because
it's a huge bridge. It's a huge bridge.
Right? And I always tell people, sometimes you have to jump off the bridge and build your wings on the way down because you can. But
and
you
trust.
have to be able to take that leap, right? You got to trust yourself, and you got to be able to take the leap, and you got to be able to say, if it doesn't work out, at least I took the chance.
Yes. And at some point, you know what, I for me, and even to get the divorces and all that, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And at some point I got, you know what I mean? You just get so, whatever it is that is going to be your motivation to push you out, be the discomfort of being discomfortable. Like, or what is ever the word? You know what I mean? Because really, people who are comfortable, they aren't happy.
Right, because you're not challenging yourself. You're not growing. And think about this, right? We have that comfort zone, but there's 2 layers of zone beyond the comfort zone. Because you're willing to go a little bit out of your comfort zone. You go, yeah, I'm not quite okay with that, but I'll try it. And you're that second layer outside of your comfort zone. Now that third layer, you're like, okay, I'm absolutely not going to do that. But then here's what happens, right? As you get into that second layer, that third layer now becomes your second layer.
Yeah.
And now you're gradually moving through these zones. And when you look back and you go, holy smoke.
Look at how far I am now. Oh, that's way back there.
Exactly, right? Yeah, I have traveled the journey, moving beyond things that I thought I could not do. And yet, as I look back, I've accomplished those things.
Amazing.
And that's what
baby steps
allows you to keep moving forward. And that's why you just have to release the brakes. You take fear, you take all of that with you, you use it as fuel, you release the brakes, and you just keep stepping.
Put your hands up. Whee! That's why I go. And I choose to believe every day I wake up that I'm going into some amusement park of life. That's what I literally do. And I don't know if I might step on some bubble gum. I might, take a spinny ride. But either way, I'm not going to get on the merry-go-round because I do not want to go in the same circle over and over and over and over and over again. And it's so exciting for me to know that I guarantee you I will meet somebody new every single day. And that excites me. And I'm excited because I guarantee you that I'm always at the right place at the right time with the right people, because I create that and I say it repeatedly. And when I meet these new people, I get new opportunities, new invitations, new wisdom, because I know I say again repeatedly, I am always excited for my next teacher, my next wisdom keeper, my next healer, because we can be healed in a conversation. Somebody can, like you said, like this amazing show. How many little light switches have turned on for you guys out there? Who here? You guys feel free to put some stuff in the chat. I would love to for you, because really, this is all it takes is you just leaned into this video. You leaned into listening to Miss Sheryl. And don't you feel amazing though? Feel a little bit like, well, what if? Well, let's just try it.
I wonder what would happen. Right? And then, like you said, just try it, right? Just try it. You have to be able to be okay with saying, I'm going to do this thing. And I don't know what's going to happen, but there's a possibility, right, that this thing could be the most amazing thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
One of my goals was to do international speaking. And last year I was selected to come to Paris and speak at a conference in Paris. And I never, I thought, in my head, I kept going, I can see myself, I'm envisioning it, right? I see myself on the stage, I'm affirming it. And I even said, I probably need to get a passport. And so I said, I've been wanting to get a passport for years and just never really did it. But for some reason, last year, I said, I'm going to get me a passport.
Yeah, how else can you be an international speaker?
Right. But you got to start setting the stage.
Yeah,
right?
getting the pieces to the puzzle.
Prepared. You got to be prepared. So when your name is called, you're ready.
Yes.
I knew when I got the passport, they called my name. I was like, there's a reason why I went and got that passport. Because normally it takes you weeks to get it back.
You're just making me remember how many times I prayed for things but I didn't prepare. Mm-hmm. I didn't, and the opportunities came and I didn't do any of that to prepare. And then like you, if you wouldn't have done the things to prepare, then when the invitation came, you would have been like, oh, what if I don't get my passport in time? I would love to, but I still have to file for a passport. And they're like, right. Oh, okay, well, maybe next time. And I lost. Let me tell you, I can't even think of. There's so many that I lost because of that thing, and I just figured, oh well, I didn't realize that I had to start taking the actions from the moment I got I wonder.
Right. Yeah. From the moment that I wonder vision popped up, right? It's kind of like going for that job promotion. It's like,
well, what would that take? And I didn't realize I needed to ask those things. I just kept saying the words, right? Because there's so many steps. There's a whole recipe to the law of attraction, to creating whatever the universal laws, whatever you guys want to say. So either way, there's a lot of pieces to these puzzles. And I was only saying part of it, which would explain why I wouldn't get it. Or when I get the pieces, I was like, oh, I figured that they were supposed to come. No, you act until it becomes a fact. I love with my mentor, one of my many mentors, Jay Nolan, he's always saying that. Don't fake it till you make it. You got to act until it becomes a fact. So if you want to become an international speaker, like my amazing girl, Sheryl, you got to ask, well, what would it take? Well, that's a major key is a passport.
You got to be able to travel.
Yes. And look like she did. She found connections because we must have the invitations.
Yeah. And then what stemmed from that was all of the speakers, they're from all over the country. They were from South Africa. They were from Germany. And in February, I was invited to come to speak in Italy. Italy is right here on my vision board. It's right here on my vision board. And I carried that over from last year because I do a vision board every year. So, you have to do these things to get you into a place of acceptance. To say, I accept that this is what's going to come to me because I deserve it.
You're kind of showing up for it. Mm-hmm. You're like, I didn't just apply for the job, but I want to make sure now that I have what I need for the job.
Right. Do I need additional schooling? Because if so, I need to start that now.
Research the company. What is the topic they're going to be speaking on? Is there because there's always some kind of a theme or it doesn't matter. Corporate world, indigenous world, it doesn't matter. They all have some kind of a theme. Oh my gosh, y'all. I love you, girl. I cannot wait to have you back on the show. Girl, the hour's already up.
I know. Oh, you go on forever, but
I know. But no, we gotta make sure that we have several minutes to not only share about your amazingness, you guys. Here's her little website.
Yes, there's my website. Go to the website. On the website, you're going to find a couple of things. You're going to find not only the Affirm collection and the journals that help you through the affirmation process, but you're also going to find some assessments, right? Because we have to take personal inventory to know where you are now so that you know where you need to go. And so there's a self-discovery letter. And I worked with a clinical therapist and she put together this discovery letter, and it's so unique. I love doing things that are different. I believe different is better than better. And so
and I don't know how many of you guys all just felt like when she said we have an assessment thing out there. So if any of you guys felt that, then you need to do it, because I know something about that took my little breath away. There's again. So that tells me I must research more about why. So, girl, I'm ready. I'm ready.
The assessment, what's so unique about it, Trey, is that it's a Mad Lib. So if you ever remember a Mad Lib where you fill in the blanks and you tell this really funny story. Well, I had a therapist create a Mad Lib of self-discovery that kind of guides you to this internal inventory where you discover things about yourself. So it's very unique. But it opens up the door. It opens up the door for curiosity, and it opens up the door for you to start really asking yourself some questions. And sometimes that's what we don't do. We're afraid of the answers to the questions.
Yes.
So we don't ask questions. I ain't gonna ask that.
You can't until you are ready to ask, to find out the answers, because that's really what it is. We're afraid of the answers. It's not the questions that we're afraid to ask. We don't want the answers to the questions. but when you realize that there's nothing that's that bad, there really isn't. There's nothing that can't be fixed or reset or realigned or, girl, I'm ready. I'm excited.
All right, well, Trey, I thank you so much for
so what else you got going on? Oh, look at your dog's gonna see, your dog's letting us know it's almost time. So before, do you have any upcoming things besides your talks? What else can we see you in?
So I have at the academy, I have an online academy. Somebody must be at the door. I have an online academy for sales individuals that are really looking at how to improve their business. How do you want to improve your pipeline, right? It's always about a pipeline. Yes. And everybody can teach about funnels and strategies, but I'm about sustainability. How do you sustain the business? So this month, because it is February, we're doing a Love Your Customers, where you can purchase at one price. You purchase a seat at one price, you get another seat for half price. Because I want people to come and I want people to participate. I want you to understand the superpower that you have in your business. The second thing that I want you to do is to go to my community, which is Affirm Your Truth. You'll get to it from the website. Join us in the Facebook community, because there you have an opportunity to hear more of what I'm talking about. You have an opportunity to really have a coach to your disposal. And that's what you want. When you can ask questions and get a little bit more in depth, that's going to be beneficial to you in your journey. So Thank you. They're going crazy.
I'll let you go, girl. Okay, so everyone, I appreciate you guys watching. This is the amazing Sheryl Mays. This is her website. Please get on there, click it out, get more information from this amazing empowerment goddess. And let me tell you, she is the chief, way up at the top. She is ready to create better leaders, better processes, so that you can have better employees and an amazing work experience on top of empowering you. So please get to her website. Take the assessment. I'm really excited because I want to learn more. The more you know about yourself, the better choices you can make for yourself and for your business and for your people. So, Sheryl, oh, girl, I'm sending you such a big hug. Thank you for being a guest on Laugh and Learn Lunch, you guys. This is Trey Urban, and I have been coming at you with this Trey Talk, but it is time for Laugh and Learn Lunch to wrap it up for this Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday and some upcoming things that I have coming up. I invite you to come out to my website, tratalk.net. You guys, www.traytalk.net. where you could get a lot of my offers. And I just put up some new courses that I'm starting. And so I'll be looking for some new people for those things. You guys, I'm excited for all the amazingness 2023 is bringing us. Sheryl, it's been a blessing. And I am so grateful that you accepted my offer. And oh my gosh, I cannot wait to have you back on again here in a few months so we can revisit how much has gone on. And I can't wait to hear about your trip in Paris. Oh, girl, I'm so happy for you. In Italy, that's come, all this stuff. So I send you so much blessings, you guys. I appreciate you all. And until next week, I look forward to seeing you guys on the clubhouse streets, out on these social media streets. But either way, take care of yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, and know that you can do the impossible. See you guys later.